Hi, I'm here with Pat Foley, a lifelong resident of Brockton. She's here to inform me about to share experiences she's had in Brockton and current issues and how she's actually worked in the field, like with her career, as far as violence goes and stuff. So.
Thank you very much. My name is Pat Foley. I was born in this city many years ago. I graduated from Brockton High. We'll be celebrating our 60th high school reunion this coming weekend. I'm here today with Anne Marie to stand with her in her quest to find some justice for what happened to her grandson. And previous to all of that, I've worked in the domestic violence field with victims and survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault for many years. I started at the former Women's Place Crisis Center in 1986. I worked at the Battered Women's Shelter. I manned the hotline. We started groups. We started the first group for women with substance abuse issues at the Edwina Martin House. I'm extremely proud of the work that I've done and extremely disappointed that when we have a horrific incident of domestic violence in this city, there's never a response from the mayor's office. And I'm just very curious why Mayor Carpenter can't come forward and say his feelings regarding this issue. It's a major issue in this city. The Battered Women's movement started way back in the late 60s, early 70s. We were able to get shelters across this country. Something happened quite seriously in the late 80s, early 90s, and all of a sudden, shelters were disappearing. Battered women were not. When I began this work, a woman in shelter with her children fleeing abuse, probably within 2 months, we had housing for them. They were going back to Massasoit. They were changing their lives, and then suddenly, the state of Massachusetts decides there'll be no more assistance. Women fleeing abuse are not going to be top of any housing list, and so they would stagnate. They were in shelters now for up to a year, going from one shelter to another with their children. I ask you, would you leave? No, you would stay with that abuser until you found a way somehow to make it on your own. Women fleeing abuse can't get full-time jobs. They need someone to care for their kids. We need to go back. We need to pick up the pieces that were lost back then. We need to support these women. We need to insist that City Hall come forward when there's a horrific case of domestic violence and it not be ignored on the front page of the Brockton Enterprise. I thank you very much for your time. This is an issue that I know I will never ever see resolved in my lifetime. I had hoped and prayed when I did the work for my granddaughters and my great-grandkids it'll be different, but you know something, it is no different. We need to hold our politicians accountable for that. Stop the violence against women. Stop making women second-class citizens, taking away right to birth control, right to family planning. Enough is enough, people. So get behind whoever it is in your community who's running, who will work with you to fight domestic violence and sexual assault. Thank you much for your time.
Well, thanks very much for your time, and thank you for your voice. Take care.